Can you become a millionaire on YouTube? It's possible. Let's talk about that today. I'm going to go over my YouTube studio and the 3 steps you need to take if you're going to launch your YouTube channel. Today we're going to go over what it takes to become successful on YouTube and actually make money on it. There's going to be a list of videos in the description of people actually talking about how much money they make, and it's quite surprising. Now I'm going to go to Ryan over in the edit bay, and he's going to explain some numbers for you because I'm not going to explain them here. Ryan, go ahead. Thanks, Ryan. So it can happen. With some of these guys, it was just less than 3 years and suddenly they're making money that they can do this full time. And that's obviously my goal. And that's what I want to do. Now, there was an average in a big survey of over 1 million YouTubers where they asked how many videos do you have to make before you can actually reach X subscriber base. And here are the numbers. Why did you choose that music? Whatever. I got that information from Nick Nimmin, who I will post in the link below. You absolutely need to make sure you are subscribed. Now let's break it down. What do you need to do if you're gonna start your YouTube channel? Whew, here we go. The first step that you need to take to start your YouTube channel is figure out what you're gonna do. Once you've figured out what you're gonna do, regardless of what it is, make sure you niche it down. What do I mean by that? That means you take whatever subject it is. For example, if it's you're going to be doing mechanic work, maybe niche it down to a specific model of car that you only do the mechanic work on. If you're a gardener, niche it down to maybe doing gardening in Montana. Or if you're cooking, maybe a type of food. Niche it down as narrow as you can, because the smaller the niche, the bigger chance of you getting noticed on YouTube. And if you're wondering how to establish a niche, obviously you're just gonna have to take out your phone and just do a tremendous amount of research. Just look up other people. Just look up a lot of other YouTubers doing the exact same thing you are. It'll give you inspiration, it'll give you knowledge, and it'll make sure you don't duplicate your own name. Which brings us to our second point. You need to pick a name. I want you to think for just a quick second, what is the most unique name that you could possibly think of? Probably your own name. Because what you can do, like I've done, Ridge Mallery, My Journey to Wealth, is you can put a tag at the end of it. So that way you're identified on YouTube at what your channel or your brand is. But there's nothing wrong if you have a really good, strong, powerful business, eye-catching name. There's nothing wrong with starting the YouTube channel with that. But there's nothing wrong with also just using your name unless it's just a very common name. For example, if it's John Smith, just maybe go with your initials. But once you have your name established, you're still not going to record anything or launch anything. All of these mentors on YouTube that are successful YouTubers tell you to just punch record and start. And I would say, no, don't do that. I mean, absolutely start, but don't just punch record. The idea behind that mentality is don't be afraid anymore, just start. That literally doesn't mean go grab your camera and start recording. When I decided to relaunch my YouTube channel onto the My Journey to Wealth rather than just a bunch of old comedy sketches.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan.
Yeah! Sorry.
I took about 2 months to just make a strong business plan of what I was going to do, the type of content I was going to make, the type of studio I was going to use, whether it was going to be a black screen, white screen, this studio, whatever. So I launched with what I could, and yes, the lighting wasn't great, the sound was decent, but I did what I could. But the idea was I didn't just start recording. I made a business plan and I went for it. But I took about a month to decide that. So, how to create a strategy. Let's break down step number 3 into a couple more steps. Once you've figured out your niche, once you've picked your name, go ahead, go to Google, make sure it's registered. Quick tip, don't put any numbers in it. If your Google account isn't registered, try to be creative to make it more appealing. Don't just freaking throw numbers at the end of it. I'd recommend. So now you've gone to Google, you've registered the name, you've logged in to YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be your YouTube channel from now on. Don't use your personal YouTube channel to watch stuff. Be logged into your business YouTube channel and going and subscribing to everyone else that you've already done the research on. You've already looked up other people that are doing the same thing you're doing, which will be important. And make sure you're logged in and you're commenting and liking from that channel, not your personal one. Now you have it. Now just start pressing record and start uploading. Not quite. The next step that you want to do is pick your theme and colors. And this is real simple, but it's a good strong way to make sure branding looks amazing. So I want you to look at a really cool color palettes. You can go to Google, look at awesome color palettes, and pick one. Pick like 3 colors that are going to represent your colors. Obviously I chose the blue and the yellow, and the little off-white. Those would be my colors that I would implement in any area that I could. Even though I started out with the black screen, I know eventually would do some awesome stuff. But my branding and my color really pops because I implement 2 colors that are going to be my primary colors, and I really focus on that and make sure they show up in all of my branding stuff. Make sure you're buying t-shirts or you're implementing it in any way that you can once you've picked those 2 primary colors. It's a real easy way for people to connect your videos to your brand. And it's gonna be a good idea because you're planning on becoming a millionaire, right? So start now. Once you've picked that color, then go ahead and design a logo. Now I know you might not be good at Illustrator or anything like that, that's fine. I'd recommend going to Fiverr and ask them to design you a logo. You'll communicate with a phenomenal artist and they'll design you a really awesome logo, probably better than this one. So now you have your YouTube channel, you've done your research, you know exactly what you're going to do, you've started your Google account, now you've got to start making your banners. You've got to start making your banners, your logos. Quick note about your actual little dot logo. Make sure that it's noticeable. A lot of people try to put like a really complicated logo or their face or something like that. In my opinion, try to simplify your logo so it's recognizable, not just another face, because when you're on your phone, you can't see the face. So just do your logo. I don't know. In my opinion, it's better just to have a simple logo so they can be recognized easily. If it's a beautiful, complicated, or like a heavy metal style logo, it's not going to be noticeable on a teeny little circle. I think that's like art designing 101. I don't know. I didn't go to art school. It's just something I've noticed. Then what you're going to do is you're going to make an intro. You're going to decide exactly how you want to do this. Let me just tell you how you should do it if you're not sure, and then eventually you can figure it out. A good intro is just like I do in my videos because I learn from the best. Do a hook like, hi, my name is, and we're going to talk about blah, blah, blah. And then you do your quick little bumper. Don't make it any longer than 5 seconds. I'd recommend 3. If you can get it shorter, great. Quick bumper, and then you jump into the video on what you're actually doing. It's a great format. It's shown that it works. All the big YouTubers that make YouTube channels about starting YouTube channels do that exact format. So don't try to outsmart anybody. Just do it. So once you've made your intro, I'm going to recommend that you make practice videos. I want you to literally stand in front of a camera, if it's a talking head style, if it's a baking channel, if it's a homeschool mom channel, do some practice videos. Now, your intention is not to upload these videos. Your intention is to practice the workflow of going through the process of coming up with the idea to uploading and releasing it. And you'll do everything except release it because it's probably not a good video. Promise yourself and tell yourself that you're gonna make 3 of those before you upload them so you practice every single detail. Now, granted, if they turn out real well, then absolutely just upload them. For me, I didn't do practice videos. I've been a filmmaker for 17 years. That wasn't something I was concerned about. My first video was my trailer. Hey, do you want to be rich? I do. Let's figure it out together. So once you've got a practice and you've got a good, strong flow of what it's going to take to actually make one of these videos, then no, not upload a video. You make a schedule. You're gonna sit down and you're gonna write out content of what you're going to do. Now for vloggers, it's a little different because they record their everyday life. But if you're trying to do any form of education, tutorials, comedy, write out a schedule of what you're going to do when you're going to do it. I'd recommend starting out with 1 video a week. It'll give you a good practice. Or if you're doing really complicated stuff, then maybe less than that. But if you want to fast track, most statistics show 1 video a week is just barely making it by. Again, unless it's very high quality content like Mark Roper type science channel stuff. So there's no shame in breaking up your videos. Like for example, if it's a cooking channel and you're cooking a whole dinner, don't do a whole video about how to cook a whole Thanksgiving dinner. Break it up into little portions and release them before Thanksgiving. You know, be creative on how to chunk up your content so you can spread it out and it's more concise and narrow. You're gonna make your intro, shoot practice videos, make a schedule, very important that you're organized. Then you're gonna shoot your first trailer video and it's gonna be amazing because you've practiced, you've done everything right. There's no baloney, silliness going on. There's no like, oh, my first 15 videos were garbage, but I finally figured it out because you've already practiced. So your first video is going to look and feel good. Now, of course, you're gonna get better, and that's fine. But the point is, you took the time to get good before you launched your channel. And then, after you've recorded that, you're gonna make a really good thumbnail. How to do that? I don't know. There's a lot of controversy on what is good, what isn't good. But what does need to be good is it needs to be good. It just needs to be a good thumbnail. Don't just take a screenshot from it. Plan from the beginning of what your thumbnail's going to look like. Try to describe through the image more than using text to describe what the video's about. If you're a mechanic, stand in front of the truck holding up the alternator. It describes exactly what's happening in the video. Don't just grab a screenshot. If you're cooking a Thanksgiving dinner, make sure after all that awesome food is cooked, you get a wonderful picture of yourself standing in front of it. Do you want to add text? Do you not want to add text? It's up to you. The idea is you be as incredibly communicative as you can through the image that you use for your thumbnail. And then you launch your first video. Congratulations! You just launched your first YouTube channel, and it's the first step that you're going to take a long, hard, grueling journey to become wealthy. Because there's a lot of extra steps you have to take. That starting the YouTube channel is just the easy one. Maintaining it and keep going is much, much worse. If you found this information helpful, make sure, of course, you slap the like button and let me know in the comments below if you would like me to cover more details about how I go about my process of making a YouTube video. Since this will be my main focus and goal to becoming wealthy, I want to make sure I'm sharing that information with you guys because I have a lot of years of experience in filmmaking. I would love to spin the camera around and show you my studio. You know what, let me do it right now. Boom, there we go. Big monitor, so if you've ever seen me glance up, you know why. I've got my nice Sony here. I've got another Sony here that I just purchased that's not running right now. That's my second camera, that's my talking to you camera. And then just recently I installed this light. It's a cheap light, but I don't care. I prefer for efficiency. I use this for fill. I'll be doing some changing on this. I'll give a better breakdown. I made that lamp. I made this. 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 I made that. I made that. I made this. I made what's in that. Am I gonna get in trouble for mimicking Bobby Duke? I don't know, better run. Don't tell him where I'm hiding. I don't want him to beat me with some rocks or some wood. So if you do want to see more videos about me talking about my workflow, because I'm gonna be real honest, it's not super difficult for me. When I shoot content, it's like shoot it and I could have the video uploaded in less than an hour, edited and everything. And that's not to brag, that's just say, I might have some tips that people could use when I have over 17 years of filmmaking under my belt, which includes 2 feature films, both available on Amazon, by the way. Links in the description. If you are interested, please let me know in the comments below. I'll talk about maybe my post-production process, because I think I have some tips that could really help the workflow of beginning YouTubers. And I want to leave you with one thing in mind, and I know this is controversial. We'll definitely talk about it more later on in other videos. But I want to say, when it comes to trying to figure out how to improve your YouTube channel on any level, focus on efficiency over quality, because quality will immediately follow efficiency. When you go to buy a new light, don't think about buying the most expensive light. Break down and ask yourself, is it going to be difficult to set up? Is it difficult to use? Is it difficult to do all this? When you go to buy a brand new camera, think about it. Will this be efficient for me? Especially if you're a vlogger, man, you have to have very efficient equipment as a vlogger. When you're buying an editing software, ask, is it a complicated software? Yeah, it might be the best software in the world, but is it gonna take me as a content creator a long time to learn? And is it difficult to use? When it comes to sound gear, are you intending to buy the most highest quality sound gear, which you should be getting good sound gear, but are you compromising how long it will take you to set up and use? Focus on efficiency and buy efficiency over quality. Because let's face it, the phone you have in your pocket is a fantastic camera. I would have killed to have this level of quality 10 years ago when I was doing my short films. But shooting on this is not very efficient. That's why you buy a camera that's going to help with that efficiency. Make sure you let me know in the comments below if you would like to see more video on this subject. Sure, wish I would have rhymed that last one. Let me know in the comments below if you would like to see more video on this mofo. No. And if you're thinking you don't have anything interesting to say, you're wrong. The world wants to hear your voice. Just look at some of the reality TV shows. They're boring, but people want to hear other people's voices. So don't be afraid. Punch fear in the face and punch record after you've planned. We live in a very exciting time where I can literally stand in front of a camera, talk, and make money.